What is up guys, and welcome to my new video, and today I'm here to show you how the LODs works and everything you have to know from 0 to 100% about LODs, to show you how we can create them, how we can make them starting from a 3D model like this. This is a rock, this is a big rock that I made for my package. LODs are very important. What they are? They are just some 3D models that will switch between each model in another software like Unity, for example, and I'm working on it. For having a better idea, we have the highest low poly count, that is the highest resolution mesh that we can have, and we are going to call this the LOD 0. So let's suppose that we have this model, and the easiest way to introduce LODs is just to rename our mesh with LOD 0 in the end. We can press F2 in Blender and we can access to the object name, and we can rename this mesh with whatever we want, and in the end we have to write underscore LOD 0. This is important because whenever we are going to import this to another 3D software like maybe Unity will automatically create a LOD group, and in this group we stored all the LOD that we created in Blender. So let's see how we can make all the LODs. So first of all, I'm going to use Decimate. This is the best way and the easiest way to make them. So let's try that. We have this model. I made this from an high poly model, then I scooped it and I used a Decimate to lower drastically the poly count, and then I cut it off at the base. When I have this result, it's just because this is a hero asset and this is very big in the game. So also if I have 15,000 faces, the player will see the rock right here. So the amount of faces in the monitor will be very lower, just because I have the rock in front of me. Okay, so let's start to create the LOD 0. This is the one, and then I'm going to copy the mesh and with Shift D, and then press X to translate in the X-axis, and then I'm going to use a Decimate. We can ignore this right now, but I have my auto smooth, shade auto smooth, and set this to 15 degrees. This is perfect for my style. And now I'm going to create a Decimate modifier, and this will lower the poly count. As you can see in the face count below here, we can see the face count is 2000 right now, and as you can see, lower I go and the mesh will start to change. We are going to create LOD 1, 2 and 3. This is just the easiest way to create a LODs group, but you can also create a LOD for a long distance range, and we can make maybe some cubes that are intersecting themselves, so you have a very low poly count. In the distance we just see the shape of the rock, and we are not seeing the details, right? So for the first one, I'm going to call this LOD 1, and then I'm going to sorry, but I have another rock with this name, so I'm just going to change this name, maybe like this for now, just for the video. And then I'm going to copy this one here, and just I'm going to call this LOD 1. Perfect. And now Decimate 0.5. This is the first Decimate that we're going to make, and we are going to cut off the poly count. Then I'm going to apply and Shift D X, and then F2 LOD 2, and now we are going to create Decimate, and this LOD 2 will always decimate with a 0.3 like this, and we have 2000 polygons right now, and we need another one, the last one, and I always go very lower with the polygons. So we can use the hand to manipulate this value, and as you can see the mesh will change very much, but we don't care. We need a very low poly count just because we are going to see this like this. Okay, it's very far away, so we don't see the details. We don't care about details. So the last one we can make maybe 0.1 or 0.15. That's great, and we are going to call this LOD tree. If you want, we can just make this one like an LOD tree with a 1000 faces. For example, this is 2000, we can make this with 1000, and the last one with the LOD4 we can make this with the lowest with a lower faces like this one. And how we can export them? As you can see, we have LOD0, LOD1, LOD2, and LOD3. So the main name is the same, but we'll only change the LOD, final LOD, okay, in the hand of the name, and the name's end. And after this we can export everything. We need to select this as the father. So as you can see, I have selected this, and we have an orange stroke here, and this means that this is the main selection. Of course, I have selected only this, but if you see, whenever I change and whenever I select another mesh, the colors will change, and the previous mesh is going to be red, and the other one that I selected, the next one that I selected is going to be orange. And this is the father, this is the main selection. And as you can see, as I proceed with other meshes, the selection will change every time. The father will change every time. So we need to select starting from the last LOD that we created, and I'm going to select the LOD0 as the last mesh. Now I'm going to press F2 to copy the main name, so the LOD0. I'm going to press N just to check that my rotation and scale are everything okay, and if they are not, you can just press Ctrl A and then you can apply rotation and scale. This is important, guys, just check it. And then I can press Alt G, and every mesh will just be translated in the middle of the 3D space. And now we can export them. How we can export them? We can go in File, Export, FBX. I'm going to export this mesh for Unity. So selected object, mesh. In Apply Scaling, I'm going to select FBX in Unity Scale. Apply Transform because I have an auto smooth right now. And Unity will automatically triangle every faces. So I'm going to do it in Blender just because sometimes when you export without this option active, Unity will make some problems with the triangulate faces. Okay, so we can just prevent this problem just exporting this already in Blender. So I'm going to use this in my desktop. Let's pass the name that we copied before, and let's just export this. The rock was just an example, and what we can do when we can't use the decimate. I have some models here that I made for my Unity's package, Biome Nature Pack, that you can see in my Unity Asset Store, and I have these three models, right? So I'm going to isolate them for a second. And this is the LOD0, as you can see, LOD1 and LOD2. The LOD2 right now, the last one, has only 12 faces, okay? So how I can do that? Just because whenever I use decimate, decimate will destroy literally the mesh, okay? I can guess that this is useful when we are using a rock, just because a rock has a random shape. But when we have something like this, that we have some cars, I have the cars here, they are cars, okay? And if we're going to use the decimate, this is the result, okay? This can look cool, but whenever I just apply, look, they are not good, right? I have one straight here, one with one polygon here, one line, and one edge like this, and this is not good. Okay, look the mesh here. Look, this looks awesome just because I did this by hand, and sometimes we need to change and make the LODs with hands like this one. So how I can do this, I just select everything. So I go in edit mode and then I select everything. As you can see, I have this mesh here, another window with UV editor, and I can select everything. Just turn this on, these two arrows, and I can select every edges like this. Okay, see, I select these edges and I have all the edges selected here. So I can just come here in the 3D space, press Canch, and then dissolve edges. And now I just deleted every edges that I'm not going to use in a very long distance. Okay, so I can do the same in the LOD. Can be the LOD 1, for example. We can just lower more and more the faces. So I'm going to import the rock that I did like this. I'm just going to drag and drop the rock here, and now we have this 3D model. We can just drag and drop in the hierarchy like this. So as you can see, Unity just created for me a LOD group. So as you can see in the right, in the inspector, we have LOD 0, LOD 1, LOD 2, and LOD 3. We can have also the triangles count, so 4000, 7000, 2000, and 300. And whenever you can see this camera here, whenever I go farther, the camera will move. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. And we can just move. As you can see, I can go in the middle between LOD 0 and LOD 1, and I can change this value. So how much distance I have until LOD 1 will change as a main mesh. So as you can see, boom, LOD 0. Okay. Why fade mode? Fade mode is an important mode. You can use this if you don't use GPU instancing. I saw that when you have crossfade activated, you have to be sure that you are not using GPU instancing, just because if you have activated this, GPU instancing will not work. So after activating this, be sure that in the shader graph you are going to check the LOD crossfade support. Okay, so another thing that is very important that you have to check, as you can see, active load we have here. I'm using Unity 6.2, and I have a warning here that is saying active load bias is 3.0. Distance are adjusted accordingly, just because if we're going to check the edit and project settings, we are going to the player section, quality section, it could be, okay, quality tab, and we are going down like this until we see level of detail. We have a load group bias. This is just how much. This is a multiplicator, this is a multiplier, sorry, this is a multiplier, and higher this is, higher the distance between each LOD. So if we set this to 1, look how fast it is. And I don't know what is a maximum load group level or mesh LOD threshold really, but if you know in the comments, let me know. Guys, I think that I covered all about LODs. We can do them with a decimate and we can do them by hand. Of course, decimate is the easiest way, but sometimes we need to change them by hand. Okay, so guys, if you liked my video and you want to support me, just leave a follow, subscribe to the channel, that is completely free for you, and this is a big help for me. And if you want to check some news about my game that I'm going to make in the future and with the new releases, please just follow me in the Instagram, that I will post very much there. And thank you all to be here. See you in the next video. Bye.